AI, AI, AI. That's all I hear these days. What about AU? How are you doing today? I'm just kidding. Today we're going to be talking about an exciting AI play, in my opinion. Applied Digital, okay? I've seen a lot of beginner investors becoming interested in the stock and they don't quite understand the price action, okay? But let's talk about what Applied Digital is, okay? I got onto this stock and this company from good old Zip Trader. If you know Zip Trader, he's very bullish on literally every stock imaginable. Kudos to him because some of his plays have actually worked out. So I've been in Applied Digital for a few months now. And the more that I've learned about it, the more excited I am, okay? Let's start with the basics here. Applied Digital is basically a company that builds AI data centers. And for months, I was wanting a play like this that was going to benefit from the AI boom that we may have over the next 5 to 10 years. You know, we saw a huge run up with NVIDIA. A lot of other companies are catching an AI bid. I wanted a company that was going to benefit from all of the massive power that is going to be needed to host, NVIDIA chips and whatnot. And Applied Digital is probably my favorite play. The only thing is very, very early. So Applied Digital started out as a Bitcoin miner. I'm not particularly excited about any Bitcoin mining companies. Maybe I used to be when I first started, but not anymore. I just don't think they have a lot of value. And so Applied Digital did something smart and they pivoted from Bitcoin mining to now AI data centers. And the reason they pivoted is because A, it's a lot more profitable going into the next 5 to 10 years, and B, they already have the infrastructure to do so with all of the cooling GPUs that they had to run the Bitcoin mining data centers. They just transitioned all those to benefiting off of the AI infrastructure being built. And so, companies like Oracle, they're building Stargate with OpenAI, and that's kind of like this, but on a mass scale for a very specific purpose. What Applied Digital does is they build data centers, and then they have companies basically rent them out. So it's very similar to CoreWeave, but not exactly. CoreWeave just IPO'd recently. They've gone up, I don't know, a ton of thousands of percents. I don't remember. They basically ran from like $30 a share to now I think they're at like $150 a share or something. People are excited about this, but basically what CoreWeave does is they're paying people like Applied Digital to be able to use the data center basically. Let's take a look at their website while we're here. The epicenter of AI being built here. So you can see they definitely do a lot of the actual, construction of it. This is really cool. If you want to take a look at their website, you can see kind of the difference between, their data centers versus traditional data centers. And let's just go through this real quick. Design philosophy, purpose built for AI, cooling technology, advanced liquid cooling. So before it was primarily air cooled. They have the advantage of liquid cooling all of their GPUs. Energy source. This one's exciting. Strategically placed near renewable energy sources. And they actually have a diagram right here that shows, their data center with a bunch of different renewable sources such as wind, solar. That's really cool that they're kind of trying to stay as efficient as possible while also generating a ton of power basically. And you can go through their website and check it out. And they also offer 2 different services. They do the data center solutions, which is basically, they build the data center, you rent it out as a company. And they also have the Applied Digital Cloud. Why even get excited about this? Well, there's a few reasons. NVIDIA invested in Applied Digital, which got a lot of people talking. And it's because they are able to kind of host their GPUs somewhere in these data centers. And so it's kind of a synergistic relationship that, NVIDIA has with Applied Digital, that has a relationship with CoreWeave and vice versa. Like they all kind of work together to kind of power this AI boom, basically. And so it's really quite exciting that one of the biggest companies in the world invested in such a small company. And so it kind of gives you a little bit of faith to invest in Applied Digital. Let's talk about some of the other reasons, okay? They're partnered with, let's check this out. They're partnered with a few pretty good companies, AMD, Dell, Intel, companies that you might know of. Since 2020, 2021, they were doing the Bitcoin mining thing. And then recently, as of like last year, they switched over to doing more of the AI data center play. They did a hard pivot. And so I think they still may have a Bitcoin mining play. We may be at the very early stage of this company's revenue growth. And so the fact that they're able to put up any numbers is actually quite impressive. And so why don't we look at those real quick? Last quarter, they put up $52.9 million of revenue, which is up 22%, which is actually quite good. The only thing is they're not quite profitable yet. And they kind of talk about it over here. They talk about it a little bit right here. Cost of revenues in the fiscal third quarter 2025 were $49.1 million compared to $47.1 million, up 4%. So basically, they're burning a little bit more cash. It says the increase in cost of revenues was primarily driven by the growth in the business as more facilities were energized and additional services were provided to customers compared to the comparable prior year. So basically, since they're at this early stage of pivoting to the AI data center play, they are still kind of building out the infrastructure. Although the $52 million revenue per quarter doesn't sound super exciting, we just got insanely good news for the future of this company. That amazing news is right here. Applied Digital announces 250 megawatt AI data center lease with CoreWeave in North Dakota. They entered into a 15-year lease agreement with CoreWeave. Applied Digital will deliver 250 megawatts of critical IT load. And here it says, over the approximately 15-year term, Applied Digital anticipates generating approximately $7 billion in total revenue from the leases. So in 15 years, they're going to generate $7 billion of revenue. I did the math. We do 7 billion, right? Divided by 15 years. That's $466 million a year. Divided by 4 quarters. Divided by 4 quarters. That is $116 million a quarter. Okay. And right now they're putting up $52 million a quarter of revenue. So in one deal with CoreWeave, they're basically able to triple the revenue just from one deal with CoreWeave because they're going to have the $50 million that they're bringing in every quarter. And then the additional almost $20 million that they're coming in from CoreWeave. And so we might see this come about from other companies. Like I said, this could just be the beginning of the AI boom. And so it's really exciting to see a company invest $7 billion over 15 years in this company when, they're really pretty much starting to build this infrastructure. And so that kind of makes me feel pretty bullish on the whole thing. Now that we've talked about Applied Digital and why it sounds like such a good data center play, let's look at the price action from a technical point of view. So I actually got in when it started to pump back in February. I bought right here. I think the Zip Trader made a video on it. I liked it. I bought it before researching, which you can do as long as you research it. The only problem with that is, I bought it at like 12 or 11 or $10 right here during the spike, and it immediately fell back like the next 2 days to $7. And then that was kind of around the time that we had the Trump tariff thing. This stock went all the way from when I bought it at 11 or 10, all the way down to $3.35. Okay. That's embarrassing. So you can kind of understand why I was a little bit taken aback by that. And a lot of people blamed the Zip Trader guy. Like I see all the comments saying, "What about Applied Digital? Nothing's happening with Applied Digital." And they all thought it was kind of a scam because, he made the video and it was at $11 and then it fell to $3. Now, as a beginner investor, you have to be prepared for that, especially with a micro cap like this. It has a $2 billion market cap. That means it's a very small company. That means the price swings can be violent, and it's very news driven. Okay. So when you see a company you like, or even a company that you don't like, but you might have a little bit of faith in, always buy the dip. That's not financial advice, but that's what I do. I always buy the dip. Now in this case, I didn't have a ton of capital to deploy. I should have bought at $3 and I really didn't. I don't know why. Looking back now, I'm punching myself, but I did buy kind of all the way down here. And then I did buy a little bit more coming back up, but it was more around the $7 range, which is still pretty good because we got the CoreWeave $7 billion announcement right here at $6.80. And boom, it went all the way up to, we saw this huge spike up. And we can see what it went to at the peak, 132%. Okay. All the way up to about $15. Okay. This got a lot of people excited because, they won a $7 billion contract over 15 years and they have a $2 billion market cap. That sounds pretty awesome, right? Now people are at this point where they think Applied Digital might be a scam because now it's falling back from $15 to $10. So now they're down 30% if they bought up here, okay? Whenever you get a huge pump like this, the stock needs to breathe. A lot of stocks spike and then they fall back down. They got to breathe a little bit, then they'll spike back up, usually based on good news, good sentiment, good market, right? So we saw a violent uptick and then kind of a slower descent, which isn't a terrible thing. Right here, we can see some consolidation in the $10 range. So this goes three ways. Either we kind of chill in this consolidation range for a bit until we get better news, which wouldn't even be a bad thing, and I will probably deploy some more cash right here. Or we fall back down all the way to, if we break this $10 price point, we're probably falling back down to $8, which isn't even a bad thing because that is a perfect buying opportunity. Because like I said, we're kind of at this beginning stage in the company. CoreWeave is one of its biggest deals. It could start getting more deals very similar. 1, we consolidate. 2, we drop all the way down. Or 3, we start going up. And that could be based on kind of good market conditions all around. So if we start getting good news about AI compute, data centers, then we could see this thing kind of going up. If we get any good deals coming out, we could see this coming up. And then the next earnings report should have pretty good guidance, forward guidance based on that CoreWeave deal. And that should move the stock up as well. Now, this is all kind of just speculative. I'm looking at the chart. That's kind of what it's telling me. Do your own research, due diligence if you want to invest in this name. Just know that, it's taking a breather from the highs. It might drop lower or it might consolidate. Would I buy at this price? I would. I think $10 is a steal because this thing could go much higher in the future. Just think of it from like a 5 to 10 year point of view. With a $2 billion market cap and $7 billion deal, I think this thing could go a lot higher with more deals around that range. It's just really exciting to me.
She is very gorgeous to me.
Those are the reasons why I really like Applied Digital as a data center play, building out the AI infrastructure for the next AI boom, basically. And although this company is in its very infancy, I really think this thing could go higher. Remember, do your own research. Don't invest blindly because then you're stuck at buying at $15 and it comes back down to $7 and then you're pissed off. do your own research, look at the charts, and see where it's going, see what people are thinking. I'm extremely bullish on the whole AI boom, and I'm trying to capitalize off of that. And I think this could be a very good investment over the next 5 to 10 years. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm going to be talking more about Applied Digital in a future video where I highlight some of my favorite stocks to play off of the AI hype. Be on the watch out for that and subscribe.